Hello students and welcome back to the video lecture series of software engineering. Today's topic is agile process models. I am your instructor Ms. Shruti Rawal. So let us start with the first process model, that is extreme programming. Now we have already studied what do you mean by agile development, what is the agile process, what are the agile traits and what are the agile principles. The next thing that we are going to study are what are the different agile process models, and they are basically different than the conventional process model that we have studied. Okay, the first process model that we are going to study is extreme programming. It is also known as XP. Now let us study what is extreme programming. The first phase in extreme programming is planning. Now what happens in planning phase? In planning phase, the first thing that happens is user story. Okay, so it means you are communicating with the customer, you are taking the requirements in form of user stories. User story is nothing but requirement gathering. Okay, now why are you telling it as a user story? Because user story is something that is flexible. You can add a user story requirement later on in the project also, right? The next is based on the risk and priority. Based on that, you are defining the value of the user story, right? So you have different user stories, that is you have different requirements from the user. You are prioritizing the user story based on the value, that is the high risk, high priority is taken first for the implementation, right? So the user story who is having higher risk, who is having higher importance is to be implemented first. So that is the value of the user story is taken into consideration. The next is you are basically having an iteration plan in which you are telling the customer that you are welcoming any changes later on in the user story but not in the current user story, right? So that is an iteration plan. You are planning to deliver the software, that is an operational software based on the prioritized list that you have currently done, right? So acceptance test criteria. What do you mean by acceptance test criteria? Acceptance test criteria is just taken into consideration, or it is analyzed in the planning phase, wherein you will develop a criteria that how will the operational software be tested, that is how will be the acceptance test be performed on that particular user story. Okay, so that all things are done in the planning phase. Obviously the budget and schedule is also decided in the planning phase for the first implementation of the release of operational software. After planning phase, the next phase in extreme programming is designing. Now here designing in extreme programming is very simple. So you have a very simple design. You are developing the CRC, that is class responsibility collaboration cards, and you are having a spike solution. Also you are planning on developing prototypes, that are smaller prototypes based on the user stories. You are going to deliver it to the customer. The customer will give you feedback. According to the feedback, you will implement the next user story and rectify some of the functionalities, right? The next is coding. Now in coding, the main thing or the main focus is pair programming. Two heads are better than one. That is the main motto of extreme programming while coding. It means two programmers will sit on one PC. No, both of them will not do the coding simultaneously. While one is coding, one will be a person who is just analyzing the code. So if there is something on which the coder is stuck, the second person can guide the person. Also, if there are some inconsistency or errors, the second person can rectify it. Also the role may be reversed. So the person who is guiding may at some point become the coder, and the person who is coding may become a guide, right? So this is what pair programming is all about. And the next is refactoring. They are just rectifying or refactoring the code again and again. So the code quality gets improved, right? And the next is test. Now you are unit testing each user story thoroughly. Also acceptance test criteria that was established in the planning phase is now implemented while the testing phase is commencing. Also there is continuous integration and there is continuous deployment in the extreme programming. So you are releasing the software in increments as we have planned. So in first increment, some of the user stories will be implemented. In the second increment, some of the user story will be implemented according to the priority that has been set in the planning phase, right? So this is the whole cycle of extreme programming. But the main things that you have to consider is XP values and XP issues that is to be considered in extreme programming. Now, after extreme programming, there is a version, or you can say deviation of the actual or classical extreme programming, that is industrial extreme programming, which is a combination of extreme programming plus some of the methodologies which are done differently. Let us see what is industrial extreme programming. Now, in industrial extreme programming, what is something that is to be done other than extreme programming, because it is extreme programming plus something. So what is the plus thing? The first is readiness assessment. So in readiness assessment, we are checking the assessment, or we are assessing the readiness of the stakeholders. So we are believing in a concept that if the team is readily available in any of the circumstances, then your development will be quicker and it will be a quality development, right? So here we are taking into consideration readiness of all the stakeholders. The next is project community. Now community is basically a larger team. So it includes everybody. It includes the developers, it includes the project managers, it includes the team leaders, it includes the testers, etc. Now the larger the community, you need to work on the community, you need to have a motivated team. Also, project community must be highly interactive with one another. They must also criticize one another, but not to the extent that there are some internal conflicts, right? So there should be healthy criticism, there should be individualism, also there should be collaboration. The next is project chartering. Now, what do you mean by project chartering? Project chartering is basically checking the project for the business value, that what is the business value of project in the market. Is this project going to sustain in the market? Is there anything that is to be rectified in the project, or is the business need okay, right? So goals are being analyzed. The next is test driven management. So basically all the user stories that you are developing or are tested thoroughly in test driven management if you are following industrial extreme programming. Retrospective, not only test driven management is important, but the technical reviews by expert is also important, that are known as retrospective after every phase in extreme programming, so that the quality is improved, right? And the last is continuous learning. We motivate the team members of the development team to learn continuously, so that the ever changing needs of the customer can be handled without any complexities, right? So these all are the principles of industrial extreme programming, apart from the process of extreme programming, which is the conventional extreme programming, right? Now the next process model that we are going to study is ASDP, that is Adaptive Software Development Process Model. Now what happens in Adaptive Software Process Model? The first phase is speculation. Now what happens in speculation? In speculation, you are again communicating with the customer. A mission statement is established which focuses what is the actual goal of the customer, or the project definition is discussed. You are actually planning the cycle of whole development which is adaptable to the changes, right? So the planning is done in speculation. Also the project constraints are discussed, that what are the different constraints on this project and how can we deal with the constraint, what are the basic requirements, right? And the main focus of speculation is time boxed release plan. So we have to develop a release plan which is time box, right? So we have to develop a schedule which in which we are telling that this particular functionalities will be released in this time, these next set of functionalities will be released in next time. So that is a time box release plan is to be developed. After speculation is collaboration. In collaboration we are doing the requirement gathering. Also joint application development is that is JAD is one of the main feature of adaptive software development process, in which everybody in the project has to work collaboratively. They have to point out the mistakes of other developer, as well as they have to self-analyze that whether they are doing the things correctly or not. Again, individual and collaborative thinking is to be taken into consideration, because sometimes it is very important to make decisions individually, right? Because we want quicker delivery, but there are some cases in which individualism should be kept aside and collaborative thinking is to be taken into consideration. So this is a mixture of collaboration as well as individualism. Many specifications are created in this phase, which can be analyzed or reviewed by the customer. After collaboration phase is the learning phase. Now this is the phase that in which you are having components implemented, right? So whatever things that you have planned in the time boxed planning phase, that you are actually implementing and testing in the learning phase. You have a focus group, you have feedbacks from the customer from which you are learning continuously. You are having retrospective, you are analyzing yourself, that what are the mistakes that I am making, that is postmortem, right? Postmortem, it means you are reviewing yourself. Also other peoples are reviewing, that is FTR, that is formal technical review is being conducted in this phase, so that continuous improvement can be happen. So again this cycle is repeated. Okay, so this is adaptive software development process. After adaptive software development process, the next process model is dynamic system process model, DSDM, right? So what happens in DSDM? Let us study. In DSDM, this is the whole process that happens. Now dynamic software development process is basically focusing majorly on feasibility study. That is, you are analyzing the business, that whether the project that we are going to start, is it actually feasible? What are the business need of this project? How are we going to accommodate all the changes? Are the changes feasible? Are we having enough resources, right? So that is what is done initially, that is a pre-project we tell, right? So that is a feasibility, and we are basically establishing the foundations of the project, that yes, the project is feasible, all the resources are required, it has a business need, and we are able to develop this project. So that is a pre-project phase that is heavily analyzed in dynamic software development. And after that, evolutionary development starts, right? So it means we are assembling whatever things we want, we are reviewing, we are deploying. So evolutionary release is a main you can say trait of all the agile development model. So this is also one of the trait of dynamic software development model, in which you are analyzing the main functionalities and deploying it, reviewing it, and giving it to the customer. That is a post project, customer is giving you feedback, again you are repeating this cycle of evolutionary development, right? So the main focus in dynamic software development is the pre-project, evolutionary development, and the post project. Okay, so these are the process models, or you can say some of the process model of agile development. We will see some other process models in next lecture. So this was all about today's lecture. Thank you.